Greetings out there, folks. My oh my. It's nice to be back and nice to have you with us. We're going through the book of Exodus, and it's such a pleasure to consider this book with you. More questions than answers, and I guess that's what it's all about. I'm Dick.
I'm Nancy.
She's Nancy, still on the job. How about that? We have several questions on chapter 2, so let's get started. This chapter, remember we came out of the last chapter, and they were really being hard on the midwives. They wanted them to kill the Hebrew baby boys, and they weren't about to do that. So this is quite a situation. Question number 1. Chapter 2. This particular chapter begins to tell us of a couple who were of what tribe?
They were of the tribe of Levi.
Levi. Remember all those tribes that were named after Jacob's sons. So you see, they had held on to their religious history. It's pretty obvious through all of this that by word of mouth they passed it on to their children and grandchildren. When this couple had a baby boy, what did they do?
Well, they hid him for 3 months.
Hid him for 3 months. So the ingenuity of the human mind was beginning to solve a great big problem, and they had no idea. Folks, can you see the goodness of a teaching like this? You and I, Nancy and I, for example, we've had no idea except to be faithful and to serve the Lord. And out of that, what will happen? A lot has happened, a lot will never happen. The same with you. We never know. We just know to do right each time that we do and say anything. And let God take care of the rest. And that's what happened here. Something big is in the wind. Question number 3. When they could not hide him any longer, what did the mother do?
Well, she got busy and she made a little ark and hid the child near the edge of the river.
Yeah.
In the river, in the bulrushes.
Yeah, how about that?
What a smart move.
Yes. And you notice it mentions that they covered it with slime, and of course that was to waterproof it. And I expect you've heard how that from that they've gone down and found oil deposits and so on. So out of the Bible, a lot of different things do happen. So she wasn't about to be counted out. She was going to save a boy. Oh my, oh my. So who watched the baby in this situation?
Well, there was a sister named Miriam, and she was watchful.
Yes. You suppose a sister would do that?
You bet.
Yes. Who came along and what happened?
Well, Pharaoh's daughter was taking a walk along there. She saw that. She says, "Oh my goodness, the baby." And she took it home with her.
What did Pharaoh's daughter decide to do?
She offered to have the mother care for the child.
Yes. So everything was falling in line. Do you suppose, let's see, the name of the parents was Amram and Jochebed. Do you suppose Jochebed thought, boy, when I put that baby in the water, that I'll never see him again? She had no way of knowing. But guess what happened? God touched it. He touched me. Yes, indeed. He touched that, and what happened? The baby came right back to Mama. So, what did the sister now say to Pharaoh?
Well, she said, my mom will take care of the baby if you wanted to.
Yeah,
And she'll nurse him.
right on. Didn't miss a lick. What did Pharaoh's daughter decide to do?
She said, oh, that sounds like a good idea. I
Good
think we'll do
idea.
that."
You know, when God helps our ideas and we let Him, we get some pretty good ideas. What did the mother of the child eventually do?
Well, after he got old enough, she brought the child to be the child of Pharaoh's daughter. She brought him
Yeah.
to her.
Now, what do you suppose that the mother was saying to Moses in those years, few years, the important years? What do you suppose she was saying to Moses
I think she was teaching him all the time.
all this time? A faithful woman who had been taught the history of the Israelites was now passing it on to Moses. And the reason I think so is because later on in the next chapter we have Moses going out among his people. How would he know all about that? And he reacted. So he had a close tie and emotion to his people. The mother had done her job.
Yeah.
And the biggest job that a mother has is to do her job. And what do you think that is?
Training him.
Train up a child in the way that child should go. Well, what name? Let's see. She brought Moses to Pharaoh's daughter, and what name did she give the child?
She named him Moses.
Moses. Moses. When Moses grew to manhood and went out among the brethren, what did he do?
Well, he saw somebody doing something he didn't like. They were hurting his own people, so he killed the Egyptian taskmaster.
Yeah, oh boy. Things are getting serious now. What did Moses have to do because of this?
Well, he had to run for his life.
Yes. To what place did Moses flee?
He went to the land of Midian.
Midian. Well, that was an important place for him to spend some time now. And isn't it wonderful how things work out? Now there's a priest in Midian who has how many daughters?
7.
7. The Bible perfect number, I guess. I don't know. We have 4. Could we have handled 7, Mama? Oh, I think so. 7 daughters. Next, since Moses found a well in Midian and sat down there, who came in to this well?
All of the 7 daughters came out
All
to
those
the well.
daughters. Moses out there by yourself, and 7 daughters of a priest shows up. Well, he probably didn't know it at the time, but I guess if he did, he'd know to behave himself and to be helpful. So things are happening. So what happened at the well?
Well, that's where the shepherds would feed or water their animals, and the shepherds drove the daughters away, but Moses helped them.
Yeah. What happened when the daughter's dad heard about Moses?
Well, he says, go out and get that guy and bring him in. We want to feed him.
Yeah, why not? Their hospitality. You don't leave somebody who's helped you like that. I expect they had him right outside the door, don't you imagine? Okay. Did Moses live with the priest and his family?
Yes, he did.
So life was beginning to take shape here in a personal way. Moses marries one of the daughters. What was her name?
Zipporah.
Zipporah. Okay, honey. I bet he called her that more than the other. What was the name of their son who was born?
Named him Gershom.
Gershom. Yeah. So this chapter is winding down, and the last question is, the king of Egypt died, And Israel cried to God. What did God do?
He listened and respected their plea.
Yes. God had his plan in motion. Now remember, we've always said that since the Garden of Eden, God had a bloodline plan. He was going to bring Jesus into the world through a given people, starting with Abraham. And then there was Isaac and Jacob. So as this history went on, now we're at the point where Moses comes to take care of God's people and preserve them for the future, so that in the fullness of time Jesus might be born. So this has been a very good chapter 2. And we'll be back next time with chapter 3. So don't forget, tune us in again. We'll be back. Goodbye.